Do you want to achieve massive results with minimal effort? You're in the right place. We're going to learn a simple yet powerful tweak that will completely transform your productivity. This isn't a shortcut. It's a smart strategy that can change your life. Let's cut to the chase, because the last thing you want is to waste time. But maybe you feel stuck in a draining routine, like you're running in place. If that's the case, it's time to hack this reality and take control. It's not just about crossing tasks off an endless to-do list. It's about stepping back and looking at your life with a fresh perspective. And you know what's most powerful? Small adjustments. Tiny changes that seem insignificant can make the difference between living a purposeful life or just going through the motions on autopilot. Think about this. What would happen if you adjusted just 5% of your routine? What if you started valuing what really matters and let go of everything that's just taking up space? I'm not talking about big revolutions, but micro transformations that can create huge waves in the ocean of your life. The truth is that thriving goes beyond just being productive. It's about finding a balance that resonates with who you truly are, that connects you with something bigger. I'm going to show you how small steps can create significant impacts and transform your life in a fluid, natural, and yes, spiritual way. Are you ready to begin this journey? Because everything you need is just a small adjustment away. Are you afraid of the word discipline? Many people associate discipline with something rigid, stifling, almost a form of self-punishment. But the truth is, it's the key that unlocks the doors to your true potential. And no, discipline doesn't have to be heavy and filled with impossible rules to follow. In fact, it can be the light and steady push you need to create a life that flows with purpose and meaning. Think about it. How many times have you felt frustrated because you couldn't stay focused or reach your goals? It's not because you're incapable, but because there's no solid foundation to support your changes. That foundation is called discipline. Not military discipline, but rather a routine of small daily commitments that, when practiced consistently, have the power to transform your entire reality. Discipline isn't the end goal, it's the means. It's the constant practice of saying yes to what truly matters and no to what merely distracts you. Believe me, by establishing micro habits, seemingly insignificant things like waking up 10 minutes earlier or setting aside 5 minutes for meditation, you begin to build a natural flow in your life. That's the real magic. When discipline becomes part of your daily routine, success stops being a distant goal and becomes an inevitable outcome. Now I ask you, where is discipline lacking in your routine? Is it in how you manage your time, take care of your health, or maybe focus on projects that really matter? It's time to look at your life honestly. Small adjustments can create significant transformations. It's not about working harder, but about directing your energy toward what will take you to the next level. Start seeing discipline not as an obligation, but as an act of self-love. Because when you commit to your own growth, the universe conspires in your favor. Did you know that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts? This is known as the Pareto principle. And when you understand how to apply it to your routine, it has the power to change the game. Imagine how your life would look if you focused only on activities that truly have an impact and let go of everything else that just consumes your time and drains your energy. We're talking about hacking your productivity and freeing up an absurd amount of time and energy to invest in what truly matters. Consider this. You're working on an important project and realize that 80% of the results come from a specific task. Let's say meetings with key clients or creating strategic content that generates more engagement. Now think about all the other tasks: responding to emails that lead nowhere, tweaking small details that no one notices, or spending hours on reports that don't change the final outcomes. These activities fall into the 80% that bring little to no significant contribution to your progress. If you could cut down the time spent on these tasks and double your focus on the ones that truly matter, what difference would that make? When you start identifying what really drives your progress, you gain power over your time. The Pareto principle is about cutting out the unnecessary and focusing on the essential. It's about prioritizing intentionally, understanding that doing more isn't necessarily doing better. You don't need to be busy all the time. You need to be strategic. Imagine the impact this shift in perspective can bring to your life. More time to dedicate to your health, your relationships, your most passionate projects. By prioritizing the 20% that generate 80% of the results, You're basically creating an efficient and fluid productivity machine. You're putting yourself in control of what really matters. So, reflect. How have you been using your time? Are you prioritizing what truly makes a difference? Or are you drowning in activities that just add bulk? This is your opportunity to transform the way you live and work. Hack your routine, apply the Pareto principle, and free yourself from distractions. The power to change is in your hands. What if I told you that there's a way to work less and at the same time find more meaning in every task? The key to this is integrating spirituality and productivity. And no, we're not talking about something mystical or out of reach. We're talking about bringing more intention into your day, connecting your actions to something bigger and deeper. The daily grind can easily turn us into robots, following an endless to-do list without really feeling like we're growing or living with purpose. But when we insert a touch of spirituality into our actions, everything changes. For example, starting the day with 5 minutes of meditation or a brief gratitude practice prepares your mind to face challenges with more serenity and clarity. This simple practice may seem small, but it has a powerful ripple effect, positively influencing every decision you make throughout the day. Consider the power of finding a bigger why in your daily tasks. Maybe you work in an office, serving clients or generating reports. These activities may seem mundane, but if you start seeing them as part of a bigger picture, as a means to serve others, contribute to something that impacts lives, or even evolve in your own journey, the impact will be transformative. The connection to a greater purpose makes even the most ordinary tasks come alive, bringing energy and motivation where there was once fatigue and apathy. Applying spirituality to productivity is more than just a technique, it's a lifestyle. It means taking a few seconds to breathe deeply before making important decisions, setting aside time to reflect on what really matters, and most importantly, learning to listen to your intuition, even in the midst of chaos. When you align your routine with something greater, you not only become more productive, but also feel more fulfilled and satisfied with each achievement. So, let me ask you, how can you integrate more spirituality into your routine? What simple practices could bring more meaning to your day? Maybe it's starting and ending the day with moments of silence, or perhaps setting aside a few minutes to think about how your actions are connected to your life's purpose. By doing this, you turn productivity into something more than just doing more in less time. You transform your life into a continuous journey of growth and fulfillment. Let's talk about something most people try to avoid at all costs: discomfort. The truth is, it's a sign that you're about to grow. When you embrace discomfort instead of running from it, you turn hardship into an opportunity to become a stronger and more resilient version of yourself. Think about any moment when you truly evolved, whether it was learning a new skill, dealing with a tough problem, or overcoming a challenging situation. Almost always, those moments of transformation were preceded by discomfort. It's like when you exercise. Muscles need to be subjected to tension and resistance to grow stronger. In the same way, your mind and soul need to face uncomfortable situations to expand. Here's a concrete example. Imagine a professional who is used to staying behind the scenes, avoiding public speaking at meetings or events. Every time there's an opportunity to speak in public, they feel that knot in their stomach and prefer to back away. Now think about the impact of choosing the opposite path, volunteering to present at a meeting, even knowing it will be uncomfortable. Each time they face this fear, they become a little more confident, a little better prepared for the next time. This initial discomfort turns into a strength that leads to personal and professional growth. Discomfort, then, is an indicator that you're challenging yourself to step outside your comfort zone. And it's exactly outside that zone where the greatest advances happen. The secret isn't in eliminating discomfort, but in using it as fuel for your growth. When you allow yourself to feel uncomfortable without freezing up, you're saying yes to growth. Now, I ask you, which area of your life have you been avoiding discomfort? It could be a project you're postponing, a difficult conversation you've been putting off, or even a change in habits you know you need to make but haven't because of the initial discomfort. Face these situations with courage and see what happens. Discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. Remember, discomfort is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Every time you confront it, you gain a new lesson. And these lessons are the bricks that build your road to success. For many people, an agenda is just a place to jot down tasks, appointments, and deadlines. But the truth is, it can be much more than that. When used consciously, an agenda becomes a true instrument for personal alignment, a powerful tool to ensure that your daily actions are in tune with your deepest values and goals. It's not just about managing time, it's about managing life. Think of your agenda as a reflection of what you truly prioritize. When you fill every minute with tasks and commitments that don't resonate with your purpose, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and lost. But what if, instead of just noting what you need to do, you start planning for what you genuinely want to achieve? Set aside time for activities that feed your soul, like reading, spending time with family, or even taking a moment for introspection. This simple act of scheduling these moments makes them a priority. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're trying to find a better balance between your personal and professional life. Instead of just listing your work obligations, start scheduling your leisure and rest times as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Block out 30 minutes a day for a walk outdoors, or reserve a few hours a week for a hobby you love but have been neglecting. These simple practices help ensure your life isn't dominated solely by external demands, but guided by your conscious choices. Another powerful adjustment is using weekly themes. For example, dedicate Mondays to planning and organizing, Tuesdays to creative activities, and Fridays to reviewing what was done and adjusting plans for the following week. This brings a structure that facilitates balance and helps avoid that constant firefighting feeling. If you only use your agenda to jot down tasks, you're just managing chaos. But when you use it to plan an intentional life, you begin to align your actions with who you truly are and what you value. So, I ask you, does your agenda reflect what's most important to you? Or is it just filled with commitments you accepted without thinking? Make it your ally, not your enemy, and watch how things start to flow. Have you noticed how small tweaks can change everything? It almost feels like magic, but it's reality. When you start making these changes, step by step, they add up. And suddenly, your life begins to flow differently. It's not about being just more productive or crossing tasks off a list. It's about living intentionally, aligning what you do with who you truly are. Now think carefully. How many times have you felt suffocated by your routine, as if you were drowning in an endless sea of tasks? That feeling of always running but never getting anywhere is a sign that something needs to change. And change starts when you decide to stop going on autopilot and start steering your own life. Everything we've discussed here isn't distant theory, it's daily practice. It's using discipline as an ally, focusing on the 20% that really bring results, adding more meaning to each action, and not being afraid to face discomfort. It's an invitation to hack the system, redefine the game, and turn your routine into a tool to achieve what you desire rather than a burden. You're not stuck in a stagnant life. Change is just a small adjustment away. So tell me, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to keep going with the flow, being swept away by demands and distractions, or are you going to start steering, charting your own path, and taking control? The choice is yours, and it needs to be made every day, in every little habit, in every decision you make to adopt or abandon. The life you desire is just a step away from becoming a reality, the step you choose to take now.